Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time it is going to be on Roofman. This movie stars Channing Tatum and is the true story about Jeffrey Manchester, an Army veteran who has also been taking care of his family, though he's not exactly who he seems to be. He has robbed a McDonald's as well as multiple different other stores through the roof, and he just so happens to be out on the lam and decides to crash at a Toys R Us. Yep, a Toys R Us, because this movie takes place during close to the mid-2000s, and throughout the film he lives a double life when he meets a woman played by Kirsten Dunst, and from there he has to really be careful because with being on the move, living at this Toys R Us while other people are still working there, yeah, it just goes to show how incredible it can be for somebody to not get caught for a few months. But of course, with this being based on true events, which I wasn't really aware about, I mean, I kind of was, but I didn't really know the whole concept. I knew it involved the Toys R Us. Now, don't go into this movie thinking that it's some Toys R Us commercial, because it's actually a lot more than that. Yes, it has a very nostalgic 2000s vibe. The McDonald's in the movie looks like the fun type of McDonald's that we used to go to as kids, not the boring kind in the modern time. Yeah, we miss those times. In fact, while watching the movie, we really miss those times, in terms of the Toys R Us and the fact that there were so many references to toys that we grew up with, older video games like PS2 to Xbox. I definitely liked it for those references, but there's definitely a lot more to this movie that I think there is worth praising. Channing Tatum is both really good in the movie and also very funny at times, because while the movie is technically in the comedy genre, it's also very serious since it is based on true events, which I managed to find very interesting. Because despite the fact that he has been committing crimes, he's not really a violent man. And don't let the gun on the poster fool you. He doesn't shoot anybody in the movie because, he's living, a double life. He wants to be a good father, but at the same time, he's committing these crimes, for a purpose. And it's not something that he's really proud of, but at the same time, it's something that he feels like he needs to do. And I don't really know the whole story behind it, but I can definitely tell you this. I was intrigued throughout the entire movie. I was just curious to see where exactly this was going to go. And in terms of the ways he hides himself, in the Toys R Us, I found to be very intriguing. Though oftentimes I do find the logic a little bit weird, especially since this dude has been hiding in the Toys R Us for months. And I don't know how he didn't manage to get caught, because you expect that to happen. Also, his relationship in the movie with Kirsten Dunst I thought was pretty sweet. I mean, I knew something was going to happen eventually anyway, especially since he has to hide his identity, so I really liked the direction it was going. I will say though, it is slightly over 2 hours long, and you know exactly what I'm about to say. Yes, I do feel like it's a little bit long. I do feel like some scenes dragged. In fact, there are times where later on in the movie, it starts losing me just a little bit as things start slowing down where it doesn't really feel like too much is happening. But it wasn't always that way, as it always manages to find ways of feeling more interesting to have people, want to connect with what's going on, especially since it's based on true events. Channing Tatum is hilarious in the movie. His chemistry with Kirsten Dunst, I think, is pretty solid for the most part. And all around, I had myself a very fun time. It's a lot more than just, a Toys R Us commercial, especially since Toys R Us, of course, went out of business. But, of course, they've slightly brought it back just in Macy's and not nearly as big as it was. But, of course, it's nice to watch a movie that gives us a good nostalgic vibe of, places that we grew up with, but at the same time, having a really investing true story that I feel like, brought to the big screen, definitely made it worth it. Roofman is definitely one of the more entertaining fact-based stories, but yeah, all around, I had a really fun time with this one. Even if some of the pacing here and there can be a bit off, maybe they shaved 20 minutes, I think would have made the movie just a little bit better for me, but nonetheless, there's plenty to enjoy about this true story-based comedy. I feel like this is one of those films that's going to be debatable when it comes to the holiday season in terms of Is this movie a Christmas movie? Because there is a part involving Christmas. So it's clearly a Christmas movie. I don't know. I'm just bringing that up, just to bring some arguments or whatever. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and maybe subscribe for more. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or maybe Blue Sky. Links are in the description. And I'll see you guys later. Ward out.